And here we go. So we've got Suzuki as a southpaw and Frank standing orthodox. And seeing as we're thinking that Maury Smith has gone to the Lion's Den at this time, we're going to probably not see Frank's sort of leaping round kicks where he jump up with his left leg and then swing his right leg in. Yeah, so they're a lot more Thai style, sort of swinging round kicks, not coming from a chamber. Nice outside low kick from Suzuki there. But Suzuki and Frank never really relied on their striking to start with in Pancrase. They were both much more wrestling focused, so they'd like to get in on a takedown, take the person down, and work from on top. And they were both pretty good in scrambles, but yeah, Frank may have a bit more than Suzuki can handle today. And Frank really picked up everything very quickly, if you think about it, because he went from jail, talked to his adoptive father Bob, and Bob said, well, you've been in jail and you've been lifting all these weights and you look pretty good. Your options are you can go be a stripper or you can go to Japan with Ken and learn how to fight. And so 6 months after coming out of jail and 6 months after walking into the Lion's Den and getting the crap beaten out of him, he walks into the King of Pancrase tournament and beats Bas Rutten by a split decision and then nearly takes Yamada's leg off with a modified Boston Crab. So he was pretty good. He picked it up really quickly, and his fight against Alain Goes is really, really good. But yeah, so he really learned very quickly, and he had his skills on the ground, and he just needed sort of functional striking, enough to not get beaten up on the feet and then get in on his takedown. Interesting sort of stepping low kick there from Suzuki, sort of faked a step out to the right and then swung in his left leg for an outside low kick. Yeah, trading kicking distance, and then they both ducked in for a takedown. And you're in an upper body clinch with Minoru Suzuki, and that's where he can do his best work. So he's gone to a upper body trip with an inside reap, and he's in Frank's half guard, so we'll see some good stuff. The Lion's Den guys were always good off their back in a half guard. Once they got the underhook or double underhooks, they could bridge you over your trap leg, or they'd scoot out and take the back. But from the full close guard, they didn't really have many options. They'd sort of throw up throwaway submission attempts and get past and then work back from that half guard. And Suzuki will probably be working in cross faces and trying to pin for a double wrist lock. Frank's working a stiff arm on Suzuki's face, which looks a bit worrying. And he's got double underhooks. And I think we'll be seeing a bridge fairly soon from Frank. But Suzuki's got one of those underhooks back, and he's keeping Frank nice and flat. And Frank's going for an Eddie Bravo lockdown, sort of winding his outside foot under Suzuki's leg. Suzuki grinding his shoulder in Frank's face, working the cross face. Ooh, he's gone over the head, and so he's sort of cradling Frank now, sort of bending him up on the inside, which is always nice and uncomfortable. He's pinning Frank's arm, and Frank's pushing his leg back and trying to recover guard, which is unexpected, but he's sort of bent up flat, so he's going to end up getting squished. And there's the pass. Yep, round to broken scarf hold, so he's oh no, just normal scarf hold, so he's underhooking the leg, but he hasn't got the arm right across, and he'll probably switch back to side control there. And over to mount. And he's grapevine Frank's legs, so he can't get bridged over, because all the Lion's Den guys had a really strong bridge. You'd see guys mount them and they'd just be swept straight away, and either you'd have to have something waiting for them when they'd bridge, or you you'd end up working from your back. So yeah, Suzuki's a lot more stable than his usual fights, and he only sort of pulls that out when he knows he's got to actually work on the ground. He's going for a guillotine here, reaching over the top of Frank's head, and Frank's popped his head out. And nice, Frank's gone out the back door and come up on a single leg, and we'll see Suzuki's single leg defense, and he's got really good balance. Look at that, underhook, overhook. And he's going for, ooh, nope. Frank's still trying on that leg, and Suzuki's gone for the throw, and then he's tucked and rolled on the knee bar, and then he's come out on top. That's really nice. But yeah, Suzuki, when he knew he was better than his opponent, he'd get to top side control, and then he'd just spin around and he'd break dance on them, and he'd wait for them to offer up something. Whereas when he was in a very competitive fight, he'd get to side control and he'd stick there and he'd just grind on you. So he'd put his shin on your face and he'd cross face you and he'd just do terrible things, just sort of annoying, very catch wrestler stuff. So rather than relying on pressure to push out your arm, he'd grind a forearm in your face or in your throat and then wait for you to reach up, and then he'd take that arm then. So he's working from mount here. And Frank's getting ready to bridge. Suzuki's posted out. He's he's got double underhooks, so Frank will try and sort of cheese it out here. Oh, and Frank's going to try underhook the leg. Yep, and he's going to try and go out the back door there. Oh, no. He's decided against that. Yeah, and that fight against Alangoez for Frank, he underhooked the leg several times and tried to bridge and go out the back door, and it got him stuck in a couple of deep triangles. So maybe he's changed his mind on that escape. And Suzuki is working something very interesting here. Sort of a can opener into his own forearm. He's trying for the backdoor escape again, but it's not going to work on Suzuki because he's nice and low. Frankie's probably strong enough to just pull Suzuki up and over the top. Yeah, Suzuki is very stable, very static, unlike his usual, well, breakdancing movements. Oh, he's gone up to Z mount. So he's obviously been talking to Funaki here about how to do stuff with the top, and that gave Frank the backdoor escape. And Frank's tucked and rolled and trying to go for a leg, but Suzuki has hooked around the leg, and he might be able to turn this into a smash pass. Oh, no, Frank's getting deep on that leg. And Suzuki's crossed his legs over to prevent the knee bar, and Frank's trying to pull it out, and now they've managed to work themselves around to a 50-50 leg position. And Frank's got the Boston Crab grip on both legs. I find that one's not great. It's good for slowing the other guy down, but it doesn't really give you many options to submit. So they're going to sit here for a while until the ref decides to stand them up. And take them a second to disentangle themselves from this. It's funny how grappling has sort of gone all the way around, where it used to be that diving on leg locks was sort of taboo and forbidden, and you'd much rather pass guard rather than do leg locks. But now with more submission-only competitions coming through, diving on leg locks is sort of half the game. Nice exchange of kicks there. Suzuki got a nice long left body kick. And Frank's actually a little bit, his arm was a bit down there and he copped a high kick because of it. So that's that crow-cop combination where you punt him really hard in the liver and then their arm will come down and you kick him very hard in the face. And that is a nice guillotine, and he's going to use that to sprawl out on. That's nice. Yeah, so you look at the Eddie Bravo Invitational, and while there is more nuance to the leg lock game, it just looks like, well, Pancrase. And now that they've introduced the slapping, the combat jiu-jitsu, or whatever it's called, I'm just waiting for Eddie Bravo to say, well, now they're all going to wear shin guards and shoes, and they're going to wear Speedos and compete in a ring, and hopefully we'll have Pancrase again. But I always liked leg locks from when I first started watching, because I was watching Pancrase on YouTube and just seeing people get their knees torn to pieces, when otherwise they just sort of try to methodically pass guard, and watching early UFCs where Hoist would just grab on the guard and heel kick the guy in the kidneys for 5 minutes. It was a little bit boring to watch. So now Frank's got Ken on his back, Minoru on his back, and he's dug in for that choke there, but he didn't have any hooks, and so Frank did a nice job of hiding his chin, and he's tucked and rolled and recovered guard. Yeah, it's a very American wrestler-specific thing, the ability to sort of ride on someone's hips in that particular way, because as far as I can tell, riding time isn't counted for half as much in Olympic freestyle wrestling as it is for in American folk style. And here we go again. Back standing. Nice inside low from Minoru, long right to the body thrown by Frank. Another one, landed solidly. Minoru bounces off the ropes. Seeing a distance here. Nice low kick, nice catch, and a good body punch afterwards by Frank. But he's tried to get in on that takedown attempt, and Minoru is just double-handed. Nice little sort of bob there as they're both sort of changing levels, faking a takedown. That was a little bit funny. Missing inside low from Frank. Body punch, and he's got Minoru cornered here, and he's going to try work a takedown, but he's going to be in an upper body clinch with Minoru Suzuki, so he's not going to get very many places. Nice slap on the exit by Frank, though. Nice inside low. Nice head kick from Suzuki. Yeah, Suzuki's striking was functional, if that makes sense. Ooh, good kick catch by Frank, and now we'll see what he's going to do. He's punching Suzuki in the body, and he kicks out the far leg, sort of a tie sweep there. Very nice. But yeah, Suzuki's striking was more functional than something he relied on, so he liked to be able to throw out the kicks and be able to throw out the punches and sort of have enough defense to not be worried by somebody's stand-up so he could get in on the takedowns and start working from there. This would serve him well to start with, but once better strikers started coming through, like Bus and Guy Mezger, guys who could shrug off his takedown or wouldn't be bothered by his spinning attacks on the ground, he'd end up just sort of getting stuck with nowhere else to go. And Frank's working from a half guard and doing the Minoru Suzuki thing and grinding his forearm in the face. And he's trying to set up a arm lock of some kind on this side. And he's managed to lever his leg out and pass. Yeah, Suzuki didn't have the greatest guard maintenance, and he didn't really throw up submissions from his guard. He'd sort of get to bottom half guard and try and duck under for a leg or try and scramble up. He didn't really like working from the bottom. And he's getting his face sort of molested by those cross faces. Oh, those are brutal. And Frank's being caught up in Minoru's half guard as he's tried to step off to side control. And now he's going to try for a Kimura on that arm. And he's just going to go back to working cross faces. And Suzuki's going to scoot out and try and put himself in a leg position. And he's getting guard back. So Frank's hooked that leg and he's probably going to sit back. Yep, and Suzuki's going to sit up into him. Very Lion's Den thing to do if you're getting caught up in guard. Just sit back on a leg and try and work from there. And Suzuki is a lot better positionally than Frank on those leg locks, so he's managed to escape and come out on top in mount. Let's probably give Frank a bit of his own medicine again, start working cross faces, and Frank's got double underhooks and he's hiding his head, which is always a safe thing to do in mount if it doesn't really get anywhere. He's trying to hook under the leg again. Oop, nice cross face. So he was gripping for the figure 4 grip on that arm that came up to defend the crossface. So that's mostly the purpose. And to prevent the bridge, he's hooked inside Frank's legs again. So yeah, Suzuki just lost his King of Pancrase title to Bas Rutten, and then he got kicked very hard in the dick by Guy Mezger. So he's started on a little bit of a skid. A bit of a video artifacting there happening. Frank's trying for an Americana from the bottom of mount, and then he's tucked and rolled, and Suzuki did not keep the back, which was nicely done by Frank. And he sat back on the leg, because he doesn't know what to do in guard. So yeah, Suzuki is going to work to prevent Frank sticking his legs in, and Frank's going to possum, and then he's going to turtle up. And Suzuki's up a bit high, so he might get knocked off the back door. Nope, he's done well there. And Frank's trying to toe hold Suzuki when Suzuki's on his back. Suzuki's going to a single back hook and then getting his double hooks in. And he's crossed his ankles over, and he is going for that choke, but he is on Frank's chin. I think Frank must have spent his first few weeks at the Lion's Den just learning how to defend the rear naked choke, because he's got a really solid choke defense. He always manages to shrug them off or just not be bothered by them. Yeah, Suzuki is trying for that. And Frank's just, yeah, keeping his chin in. I'm not sure if he's smiling or grimacing. And yep, he's changing his grips. He really wants that choke. And there we go. He's managed to shrug part of it off. Suzuki's switched his grips around. Nicely done, Frank. And he's managed to diffuse that situation. And Suzuki is now going to start working from mount again. Double underhooks from Frank, hoping to slow Suzuki down. And he's going to try the underhook escape from the leg again. And Suzuki, I don't think Suzuki got a single triangle in his mixed martial arts career, so it's not exactly a threat he'll have to worry about. Pulling Suzuki's head next to his. And bridge and roll. Nice. Very strong bridge and rolls from guys at the Lion's Den. Wide leg in Suzuki's guard there, working just to bother him with the forearm choke. Oh, Frank's reached up with his feet and pulled Suzuki's legs apart. That's really cool. Not the Eddie Bravo Invitational 10, somebody did that, and everyone on the internet's going, oh, look at this cool new guard pass, and Frank Shamrock's out here showing it in 1996. And rather than pass guard, he's sat back on the leg. Oh, he's standing out. He's actually trying to work up, but Suzuki is better in the scramble, and he's going to go to that next scissors position. And he's going to try and spin for the arm bar, but Frank's defending well, and he's going to manage to step over Suzuki's head. No. And he's sitting out on a toe hold, trying to Kurt Angle ankle lock Suzuki. Nice sprawl from Suzuki, preventing Frank from coming into him. Yeah, Suzuki would much rather hip escape and try to go back to standing or work a takedown than work from his guard. And they've been stood up, and they both look a bit tired because they've been going for about 17 minutes. And a cheeky little spit from Suzuki. And we're underway again. Inside low. Popping at the edge. Nice long body punch there. Nice lead slap, long body punch. Checks that kick, kicks a right slap there, Frank did. So jiggling at a distance. Another body punch. Nice high kick, nice right hand. Oh, nice high kick slung up by Suzuki, but he slipped over on it, and Frank's dived into his guard. So yeah, don't know if we'll see Frank working a pass. He's just sitting in Suzuki's guard. Both his arms on the floor, giving up free overhooks. Reaching back for the toe. Suzuki's going for a hip bump, and Frank's seen that coming and shut him down. And Suzuki's opened his legs. And he's back to closed guard. Back to open guard. Closed guard, and Frank's working in some cross faces and using his weight on Suzuki. Turning Suzuki away from the ropes. Suzuki's underhooking the left arm of Frank there. Reaching back on that toe, pushing down on it. Trying to open up Suzuki's legs. Ooh, narrow. Narrow guard there, narrow base. Yeah, so Suzuki's got a lot more of a static guard than Funaki. Funaki be grip fighting and trying to go on feet on hips, trying to sweep Frank here, but yeah, Suzuki's just sort of not bothered and waiting for Frank to sit down on the leg. And Frank's gotten both his knees in, he's pinched the leg properly, so Suzuki can't sit up properly, and he's working for a pretty good toe hold here. And Suzuki looks a little bit concerned. But he's managed to sit up and use it to pass. Nicely done by Suzuki. He's going to underhook that leg, break Frank's grip, and start working for the double wrist lock and that progression on that firearm. Frank's trying to stiff arm him away. Suzuki scooting around to north-south. Fight! Frank thinking about bridging, and Suzuki's going back to side control. Getting that forearm frame in the face there by Frank, and he's trying to get his knee in, trying to recover guard, and Suzuki's hooked under the waist of Frank and scooted around to prevent that. So he's going to switch up to side control on the other side. And he's given Frank that underhook, which is why Frank nearly got out there. Yeah, Suzuki looks a little bit stuck here. Yeah, Suzuki looked great in his spots, but outside them he always looks a little bit lost, and he's gone over to mount. So yeah, if Suzuki could get to side control on somebody, or he'd start shin or neck riding them, he had all this really nice stuff, but yeah, if he couldn't get anything off from there, he just looked a bit lost. And nice bridge and roll from Frank. Like I said, strong bridge and roll. Oh, nice frog kick straight back. Might have gotten Frank in the face there. That's questionably legal, but he's taken top and scooted around past the guard. So he's going to work shoulder pressure in Frank's face. Probably not stepping over to mount, but I'm just annoying him. Trying for a mounted crucifix, pushing Frank's arm down and stepping over it. So he's going to ride on that with his shins, shut down Frank's shoulders and prevent a few of the escapes. Yeah, so Frank's bridged and they've been stood up. And Suzuki looks a little bit tired. Frank's getting his jocks fixed. And we're going again. Inside low from Frank, mostly checked by Suzuki. Suzuki's throwing out a fake jab. Switch outside low by Frank there. Oh, spinning pimp hand from Suzuki, and Frank is in on his waist. Nice knee from Frank, nice knee from Suzuki, but Frank's got a single leg, and he's cuffed Suzuki as he's thrown him out of the single leg tackle. Nice body punch from Frank, caught Suzuki sort of mucking around with his feet. Nice high kick from Suzuki, timing Frank's duck into a tackle. Inside low, body kick from Suzuki, another body kick from Suzuki, but Frank's caught that one. And Suzuki's trying to tuck in on the, I think he was trying to scoot under to scoop in on the leg, but he's ended up on the bottom with Frank on top of him in half guard. So Frank's working a crossface. Is bothering Suzuki, looking up to his corner, probably getting instructions from Ken. Crossface and pushing down on the arm. He'll probably spin to a knee bar now. Yep, crossface, bothering, pushing down the arm, steps over, spins to the knee bar. And Suzuki has not defended that well, and now he is tapping and stuck. And Frank is your new interim king of Pancrase, and he looks very tired. They both do. Well done, boys.
So that's it for Pancrase Truth 1. The event was fun as hell. Every fight had something interesting, even those that went to decision. And we got to see a good account of all the fighters at Pancrase, especially our two young boys coming out of the dojo with Yuki Kondo and Kiyoma Kunioku. The event did feel slightly empty without El Guapo showing up and kicking somebody really hard in the liver, but otherwise it was absolutely great. Fight of the night goes to Shibuya vs Kunioku because of the intensity and interesting technique pulled out by the less experienced guys, and the whole event gets an arbitrary 9 out of 10. Only due to the lack of bus room. I will see you next time.